have to prevent the weaponization of space because there is a lie being told to everyone that the weaponization of space is now first being based upon the evil empire, the Russians. There are many enemies, he said, against whom we're going to build this space-based weapon system, the first of whom was the Russians, which was existing at that time. Then there would be terrorists. Then there would be third world countries. Now we call them rogue nations or nations of concern. Then there would be asteroids. And then he would repeat to me over and over, and the last card, the last card, the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat. Well, at the time, I kind of laughed when he said asteroids, and when he said extraterrestrials, I knew I wasn't going to deal with that subject. And now we hear on the news just today, this week, that they've slid in another enemy. Only this time we're going to protect our satellites. In other words, we have to have some reason to spend these trillions, to waste these dollars on a space-based weapon system, and they're all lies.
And will they use this military technology, Project Bluebeam, which they have used before, I think, in the harbor of Havana on Cuba, where they used Project Bluebeam to show the Virgin Mary to people there in the sky?
I'm aware of Project Bluebeam. I think that would be the way forward for them if they were to deceive humanity regarding the asteroid event or the simulation of an asteroid event, because what would happen is, first of all, they would embed in the human psyche well before them, which they have done already, through the sources of references I've previously mentioned. They've already declared it. So I suspect that if they do try to declare that nearer the time, once this event is rolled out, you'd be waking up to perhaps mud floods, and people will be connecting both dots and relating to, oh, it was that asteroid that they were talking about. That's how I suspect that they will try to roll that agenda out.
Because these prophecies are a little bit biblical, aren't they, in reference at least?
That's what they're using, yeah. That's exactly what they're trying to use.
Because they also, as Claire said on the show, that they want to smash the religion as well.
Yep, they are looking for the one world religion and destroy monotheism. So yeah, it's many agendas. With the Economist magazine, they have done exactly the same thing. If you were to connect both of those events, so it's almost history repeating itself. So could there have been a civilization reset in 1666? That's the question.
Really? Wow. I mean, what do you mean a civilization reset? We haven't heard about that in history, at that point in history.
Well, this is up for debate. My research really, it goes back to round about that time, but I've never looked around what had happened with the civilization, if you like. But that is definitely an interesting discovery and connection.
But was this during the time of the plague?
Yes, there was a plague in 1665. The Great Fire of London supposedly started in a baker's shop in Pudding Lane in the city of London. What I suggest is there could have been a direct energy weapon used to
in 1666.
Absolutely, yeah.
How could that have happened?
Well,
who had those who had those weapons at that time?
We have to assume that the dark forces, as you referenced earlier in our conversation, how long have they been here for? So, if they've been here for hundreds of years or even thousands of years, they may have had access to that technology.
Or to a time travel machine or an energy field or Project Looking Glass we've heard about also.
Sure, exactly. And by using any of this technology, what you're actually doing is that you're changing the timeline.
So do you think that could actually be a possibility?
You can't rule it out.
Uh-huh. But we haven't heard about a civilization reset at that time, and a fire of London is not going to smash the whole civilization of the earth. But the plague certainly took a lot of people, and that actually that went on for a couple of hundreds of years, right?
Sure. Yeah. Again, you'd need to look into the civilization, the population demographics round about that time, not just in UK, but I would suggest wider, to see if anything similar would have happened around in terms of a change. So yeah, again, it's something up for debate, I would suggest.